Welcome all to another Borderlands 4 video, and before I get started, I'd just like to say that there is a ton of info out there right now. There are a ton of people sharing all kinds of info, and as someone that did not get hands-on time with Borderlands 4 myself, I have been extrapolating from others' videos and tweets and all sorts of things the best I could do. I will be shouting out a ton of people and their videos today, and I'd highly recommend at the end of this video anything I shout out. If you have not seen it, all channels plus videos will be linked down below. The reason I recommend so strongly that you check them out afterward is because I am only talking about what is in the game for the most part and giving my feelings on what I saw, but in their videos you'll get their opinions from people who actually had hands-on experience with the game. In addition to this, if I miss anything that you guys think I should talk about, let me hear it down below and I'll check it out and maybe make another video including details from you guys. Again, there is a ton of info out there and I will 100% miss something, so help me out and share what you know that I didn't cover. I appreciate the heck out of you guys. Now let's get started. I want to start with the early impressions that happened before the June 21st Borderlands Fan Fest hands-on event. I want to talk about exploration a bit. The map looked absolutely massive and people have worries about the map feeling empty, but if you check out this video from Moxsy, link down below, he may be able to answer your concerns. It seems to me there are a lot of random events happening as you travel, and that's why I am less concerned with an empty world and more concerned with these encounters feeling intrusive. I think of Skyrim dragons. You'll be on your way doing something and you really just want to do that objective. But then a mini boss or something shows up out of nowhere because yeah, one of the random events that can happen is a mini boss spawns randomly in the open world. Don't worry, these bosses have dedicated spawns as well, so we don't have to search for them. We can just go to their dedicated location. Going back to my point though, I just hope over time we don't get sick of the open world or annoyed from random events popping up in the middle of me trying to just do an objective. Right now everything is shiny and new, so it's hard to say. This will be something we discover with time. However, something really awesome I saw in K6 early impressions video was a mission pop-up in the open world where he discovers a ship and he was able to hop into the tractor beam of it and fly up into this enemy ship and then give him a mission to destroy everything inside. He failed, so I never got to see what you would get, but I would assume you get SDU points and maybe a cosmetic. If you don't know what SDU points are, well, let's move on to that now. So something I was pretty excited to see is the Lost Loot Machine is confirmed to be back, and it seems to have gotten some quality of life updates. For one, when you go to use it now, it's not just throwing everything on the ground. The Lost Loot Machine has a menu for you to pick through everything now. Also, a quality of life is to get SDU upgrades, there is this currency no one knows the name of, so everyone's just been calling them SDU points from what I've seen online, and you get these from doing missions or challenges. It seems the vault symbol collectibles are back, and finding those completes a challenge and gives you these SDU points. The reason I say this is a quality of life is because there is now no more using the Lost Loot Machine as a way of getting a bunch of SDU upgrades on a new file by selling a bunch of lost loot from your previous max level save file. You can also use this SDU point currency to unlock cosmetics, which also seems to be a quality of life enhancement because it looks like this is now how you get cosmetics, which means if this is the case, no more getting excited over a drop just for it to be a skin you already had. I love this change. I also love the customization all being right here in the menu, and you can even change how Echo 4 looks. Now, personally, when it comes to UI, I like a lot of the UI. I don't care about this flower-like UI in the equipment page, although I think the way older Borderlands did it was better. I do wonder when I play the game how I'll feel about the menu not being opaque. I know it sounds silly, but I liked having the game be seen in the background. I think the HUD is fine. I still think we could do without the weapon wheel in the bottom right, but oh well, whatever. Something I definitely don't like is the motion lines that come up on your screen in combat. It seems very annoying to me. I would love if this could just be made a toggle in settings to turn this off. It just seems like an unnecessary visual pollution to me, which kind of sucks because outside of that, I think from what I've seen, they did a great job keeping visual pollution to basically being not a problem. But yeah, I need these motion lines toggleable. Speaking of toggleable, we have some huge news for those of you who may not have seen this yet. Gearbox had their ear to the ground and heard us loud and clear. Randy Pitchford tweeted out responding and showing in this clip here that they have added a radar to Borderlands 4. So all those issues about shooting allies, mistaking them for enemies, and all that is gone. And now we have a radar to make combat much more clear for us. It is brand new to the game and still in early stages, so all gameplay you see from content creators that got early hands-on experience with the game will not have this in the build of the game they are playing on, but it will be ready for launch. This is super exciting and fixes a ton of complaints / issues people like Killer 6 had with the compass, and Randy Pitchford himself gives K6 a ton of credit for being a major advocate for this to be done. So guys, be sure to let the appreciation for Gearbox be as loud, if not louder, than the complaint they fixed for us. Okay, so that was super exciting, but now we move on to talking about firmware / licensed parts. As for the parts system, I love what I have seen so far. I honestly can't say much about it other than the fact that the firmware actually works in pieces. What I mean by this is the buff a firmware will give. We all thought you needed all 3 matching to get the effects, but in reality you actually get the effects even if you only have a fraction of the pieces needed. Say I have 1 or 2 of the licensed parts needed for the firmware equipped, I will still get a portion of that firmware stats. So say you have 3 different enhancements equipped with 3 different kinds of firmware. You could have a piece of each of their stats going all at once, which might benefit you more with a build in some cases. To find out more about all this and even get a better explanation, check out Moxsy's interview with Graham Timmons and check out his video where he goes more in depth on licensed parts. Both are linked down below. And next up is more so a concern I have, which is respawn time. Something that seems to be a big issue to some when it comes to gameplay is the respawn time, and I definitely hope this gets worked on. The overall respawn time takes 20 seconds and it feels like a long wait. I mean, you watch your person fall to the ground and be scanned by Echo 4. That's, I believe, 7 seconds alone. Then you're in the warp tunnel for like 6 seconds, and then another 7 seconds watching the machine digistruct and spawn you in. Maybe this sounds ridiculous, but I want this cut in half. I don't know if that's doable, but 10 seconds is more than enough for me to be taken out of the fight. In a more reasonable, but yet maybe painful light, I think this dying animation needs something to happen so it can be faster. I completely understand too, for the people that worked on this, how hard it can be to work on some art and love it so much, and that you want to show it off. I love Echo 4, and I think he's adorable, but this whole thing with him coming in and descanning you basically just takes too long. I love the idea and how it looks, but something about it, in my opinion, needs to change or be sped up. I think Gearbox has done a phenomenal job of keeping us engaged in the game everywhere else. I just think even if you could shrink the death to respawn animation time by like 5 seconds, it would make a huge difference. Gearbox has done incredibly well with community feedback, so I have hope that maybe they can find a way to shave just a few seconds off the overall death to respawn process. Okay, so that was the first half of the video. Now we move into the second half, which covers more about the Borderlands Fan Fest gameplay. And I'm going to start with Moxsy's, who among the people I watched, I think had some of the most to take away from. So the gameplay for Borderlands Fan Fest all took place within this vault, which is basically a dungeon for Borderlands 4. In order to get into these vaults, you must find vault fragments in the world. Eventually, once you have enough fragments, that form a key, and then you can start the dungeon or vault. These vaults are not strictly endgame, just higher level gameplay. So Moxsy compared these vaults to a condensed Maliwan takedown, which if that's the case, then hell yeah, sign me up. I think Maliwan takedown is some of the best Borderlands content for endgame ever. And the fact that this isn't even like endgame and it's kind of like more like mid-level to endgame gameplay sounds amazing. In his gameplay, I saw these enemies with dark purple bars that weren't health or shields. I didn't really know what to make of that from Moxsy's gameplay. What I love is how I've seen enemies with modifiers plenty of times, but the gameplay overall still flows well, and at worst might cause him to take a slightly different approach. I really love the level of thought this game can have you taking while in combat. So guys, I don't mean to blue ball you, but when Moxsy gets to the boss at the end, I'm not showing this boss fight footage. You will have to see his video. He has it timestamped. What I can do is tell y'all my thoughts of what I watched. I was literally on the edge of my seat the entire time watching and just shouting to myself in a room where I'm all alone. Out of pure joy. This boss fight had pretty much everything I wanted out of a boss fight in Borderlands 4. The grapple was a very used mechanic. I could tell dashing and double jumping to avoid attacks was very encouraged. This is exactly what I wanted in a boss fight. So after the boss fight, he got something called a glider pack upgrade, and it allowed his stamina bar for gliding to regen faster so he could glide more. Just pure speculation, but I'm guessing you may be able to also get things to have more stamina and such so you can dash more and have even more movement. This is a really cool way of evolving the gameplay as you go on through the game, allowing you to play differently and probably with more fluidity. Okay, so that's everything I had to pull from Moxsy's gameplay. Next up is JoltsDude139, and thanks to him, Moxsy's Encore machine can be seen. Finally! And it's super simple, yet my favorite thing ever. He paid $50, which we all know is nothing, and then 0 loading, no time to wait. You just float on over on the pad, and bam, you're back at the boss fight. No running the whole dungeon again, just boss reset and fight the boss again. With 0 load times to spawn the boss and being able to just fly right back into the fight, I can definitely see why they said farming is going to be way faster. This is amazing, and as I've said so many times, I can't wait to do this with friends and probably even you guys when I stream, and I'll kind of just let you guys just hop in and out. Next up is a piece from Killer 6 linked down below. K6 counted 24 different enemy modifiers in his time at Borderlands Fan Fest. Now, as I said, I'm really trying to just extrapolate from the gameplay, so if you want his opinions on this, then I highly encourage you check out his video, as he had great points and great things to talk about that I won't. Now next up we have TweetyExpert, who streams on Twitch. She posted over on the Twitterverse saying there is fishing in Borderlands 4. And yeah, I was just as confused as the rest of you. So I clicked on the post, and there is a clip shared where she was actually fishing in Borderlands 4. So that's something I never expected. You can find this clip linked down below, and make sure to follow TweetyExpert on Twitch. She's an awesome person / streamer. Also over on Twitter, Byrdman made a post asking for people to post the legendaries they've found and posted some himself. So if you would like to explore that, then I will leave a link in the description to this Twitter thread. I decided not to show any legendaries on screen because I know some people like to keep that stuff a surprise. Okay, so last thing I have for y'all is these two things on Twitter, which the first is a screenshot posted by Killer 6, and you can see it says Ultimate Vault Hunter mode, and personally, I pray this is something different and not New Game Plus Plus. I do not want to be forced to play the game twice to get to endgame, or 3 times. I like when a New Game Plus is optional and not a must. I don't believe this will be a New Game Plus Plus, as we can see there are other modes here in this screenshot, and it looks like some other kind of mode. We also have Moxsy's big Encore run, which is probably what was talked about somewhere. I think in Moxsy's interview with Graham Timmons, but honestly, it's all kind of blending together at this point. Anywho, there was talk about matchmaking and how they have a general way of breaking that down, and the Encore run must be their way of filtering your search to find lobbies that are farming. Weekly wildcard? I have literally no idea what this could be, so let me hear your thoughts down below. Also, sorry for the person in this screenshot. I tried to find who this was to put a link in description, but I have no idea who this is, but I super appreciate the screenshot. Final thing is this screenshot here, and Moxsy says, seems to only be part of some games journalist's demo and not part of the section we played as content creators. I am imagining this is like a badass rank. So that's his speculation on this specialization rank. Feel free to leave your speculation down below. I've also seen plenty of people like Damn It to Hell speculate a weapon proficiency system, but who knows. So with that, guys, that is everything I have for y'all today, but as I said in the beginning, I'm sure there is plenty I have missed, so let me hear all about it down below. If you haven't seen it, I have started streaming here as well. If you want to catch me, I don't have any consistent schedule yet, so be sure to subscribe and hit the bell to get alerted when I drop a video or go live. I hope y'all enjoyed the video, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace out.